Kings and queens, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. We got a lot of perk changes to talk about. We got the developer update for June 2022. Tons of things to talk about. If you enjoy, leave a like down below and subscribe if you are new to the channel or you've been here for a while. We're trying to hit 150,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Sometimes YouTube unsubscribes you because over 70% of you guys are not subscribed, so double check and please subscribe down below. We're also live on Twitch. All right, let's jump on into it. Developer update for June. Let's go ahead and read through everything and then give our honest opinions. It says, during our 6-year anniversary broadcast, we announced a new progression system and a meta-shifting perk overhaul. We're thrilled to say that both initiatives will headline the upcoming mid-chapter. That's great news. From the onset, it is important for us to release these changes as a package. Our objective is to shake up the current meta, provide alternatives, and make perks easier to earn. We are also careful to consider the reasons why the meta exists and address any base game issue it may have been concealing. Nice to hear. So let's hear about this overhaul progression system. That's the first thing. It says collecting all the perks has been an important goal for many players. However, since both the number of perks and characters are consistently increasing, the grind expands at an exponential rate with every new chapter. To address this, we're completely overhauling the way perks are earned, adding new rewards, and making completion easier than before. So here we have the comparison. In the current system, you have to reach level 40 on a given character to unlock all their teachable perks, then find those perks in the blood webs of every other character. In order to unlock all the new perks on every character by the next chapter release, you would need to play an estimated average of 4.1 hours every day. With the new system, that estimate decreases to about an average of an hour a day. And this is not even factoring in the blood point bonus from events, perks, and offerings. So already, you're cutting it down by 75%. You only have to do 1/4 of the work, which is amazing. And they said it down there as well. They're cutting it down by 75%, which is huge. How are we going to unlock these perks? Let's find out. The teachable rarity is no more. Now perks are directly tied to prestige. Prestiging a character for the first time will instantly unlock the tier 1 version of their unique perks for all killers and survivors, making them immediately available for use without ever opening the blood web. Prestiging a character for the second and third time will unlock tier 2 and 3 versions of the unique perks. Accordingly, higher tier versions of the perks will appear randomly in blood webs once the first tier has been unlocked. Say you prestige a trapper, this will instantly unlock it at tier 1 of agitation, brutal strength, and unnerving presence on all killers. Tier 2 and tier 3 of the perk will now appear randomly in the blood web. Prestiging the trapper again will make tier 2 versions of the perk immediately available, and so on. So this is quite good. You don't actually have to go ahead and prestige through your character if you want to get level 3 of a perk on every single character. You just need to prestige 1 them, and then you can still get the perk in the blood web, so you don't have to waste your blood points on it. But at the end of the day, you're probably going to P3 everybody anyways. Let's carry on. They said that there's no more resets. Prestiging has always been a bit of a dilemma. Do you want to give up everything, bragging rights, or do you want to have to minimize the grind? Now that prestiging is our main way to unlock perks, we wanted to make the choice clear. Prestiging a character will no longer remove their tiers, or their perks, items, add-ons, or offerings. Perk slots will also remain unlocked after prestiging. This is fantastic. So realistically, there is no reason not to prestige, as they said. With no reason not to prestige, prestiging a character is no longer optional. After reaching level 50, you'll receive a special blood web with a single node. Purchasing the node will increase your prestige level and reset your character back to level 1. And since you're not losing anything, then there's no point in not doing it. They then mentioned the endless prestige. With prestige now being the main way to progress, it's no longer be as impressive to have your character maxed out at prestige level 3. It only makes sense to have a new way to recognize our most committed players, so we've removed the prestige limit entirely. But what would more prestige levels be without rewards? Here we go. Reaching prestige levels 4 or 5 will now award the character's bloody cosmetics, once again signifying those who went above and beyond. Now that prestiging for the first 3 times awards perks, it only makes sense to move them higher. If you've already unlocked these cosmetics, don't worry, we're not taking them away from you. You've earned it. For the completionists, prestige levels 7, 8, and 9 will grant one of the character's unique perks as a charm. We also wanted to highlight your dedication to your favorite characters no matter how many times you've prestiged them. Once the trial is over, your prestige will now be shown in a space previously occupied by grades. Those who spend millions of blood points stockpiling add-ons on your favorite characters will now have a way of showcasing your hard work to the world. So there we go. We now know Prestige 1, 2, and 3 will give you all tiers of the perks. 4, 5, and 6 will give you bloody cosmetics. 7, 8, and 9 will give you that character's unique charm or unique perk as a charm. So interesting to note. They then said that the Shrine of Secrets, unlike before where the Shrine of Secrets offer you teachable perks that you needed to be found in the blood webs, the Shrine will allow you to purchase perks directly. Purchasing a perk through the Shrine of Secrets will make the tier 1 version immediately available on all killers and survivors. Subsequent tiers of the perks will also begin appearing in the blood web. You can also purchase a perk again to increase its tier. This works seamlessly without the prestige system, as purchasing a perk you've already unlocked through the prestige will instead increase its tier. So that is fantastic to know about the prestige system, so super happy about that. We then see the transitioning to the new system. They said with many spending hundreds of thousands of hours playing Dead by Daylight over the years, we want to make sure that everyone is rewarded fairly. When this system releases, we'll be automatically awarding existing players an appropriate number of prestige levels based on how many perks they've unlocked. If you've left all your characters at level 50 and focus on unlocking perks, your work won't be for nothing. It's also important that you don't lose anything with the system updated. We will keep any perks and bloody prestige cosmetics you've already unlocked. Those who have reached Prestige 3 before the update will also receive a special prestige icon to recognize their achievement and commemorate the perks and add-ons they lost in the process. We'll be hosting a live stream soon to show the updated system in action and answer any questions you might have ahead of the PTB. They then go ahead and talk about matchmaking incentives. I'm going to skip over this part a little bit and just highlight the important parts because I think this one is pretty self-explanatory. It says right here, whenever the number of killers to survivors differs too much from an ideal ratio, we'll offer a blood point bonus to anyone who opts in to play the needed role. This bonus ranges from plus 25 to plus 100 depending on the level demand. And there we go. That is pretty much going to be. And then they said matchmaking incentives will be disabled if crossplay is turned off. So good to know. Good to know. Now we have some gameplay updates. Let's see what they're talking about. Generator speeds. This is an interesting one. When looking at the perks used by most killers, it's very clear trend. Any perk that helps prevent generators from being powered, slowdown perks for short, are favored. Corrupt Intervention, Pop, Scourge, Hex Ruin are a few notable examples, and even are amongst the most popular perks. So, they said that they've increased the time it takes to power a generator to 90 seconds, so this is 10 seconds extra. This one is pretty interesting. We'll talk about it after. Let's take a look at the second change. Kicking a generator will now instantly remove 2.5% of the maximum progress. Beautiful. I love that part of the change. The extra 10 seconds, while it may seem significant, and I'm a killer main, by the way, I feel like it's a little bit of a meh, like a little bit of a band-aid fix. I feel like a bunch of different things that they could have done. We spoke in the past about having a place where you need to turn on the generator to make it more interesting and more fun. Having more time on the generator for survivors, I think, might be a little bit boring. We'll have to see what that feels like in the PTB, but 10 extra seconds, you know, if you're working on it with other people, might be nice. The kicking and instantly removing 2.5% of the maximum progress is tremendous. Typically, it takes the whole animation to kick, roughly about 2.5 seconds. And then if a survivor just taps the generator, they instantly get back all the progress. So having 2.5% is beautiful. And especially since it's the maximum progress as well, it's not like 2.5 all the time. Because if you have 2.5% and then you kick it, it is just completely gone. So now you'll have 2.5 of the maximum, which is quite nice. So that is pretty damn awesome. General killer improvements. Let's take a look at this. The average kill rates are a little lower than we'd like, a sentiment echoed by many community members. To ensure the killer feels like an unstoppable force to be feared, we're making slight improvements to many aspects of killer gameplay. Let's take a look. We reduce the time it takes to break walls and pallets by 10%. Wow. Generators can now be kicked 10% faster than before. While these changes are small, a fraction of a second can make a big difference. That is absolutely huge. Breaking generators and breaking pallets quicker is going to be phenomenal. I don't know how that's going to change, but holy crap. Next, we've reduced the cooldown for successful basic attacks by 10% and reduced the duration of the survivor's speed boost upon being hit by 10%. Moving forward, survivors will gain slightly less distance upon being hit, making it more difficult to run long distances to a safe area. Wow. Those are some spicy changes for killers. I'm not gonna lie. That is really, really good. And they said, finally, we tweaked Bloodlust to increase the power quicker than before. In most changes, Bloodlust does not activate. They said that they're going to be changing the tears to activate to 15, 25, and 35. This used to be 15, 30, and 45. So you'll be able to get into Bloodlust 2 and 3 way quicker to make sure your chases only last 35 to 40 seconds. That is pretty significant. Wow. Camping and tunneling. Here we go. On the survivor side, there's a clear preference for perks that grant a second chance, borrow time, decisive strike, dead hard, etc. A benefit for those second chance perks is how they help prevent unfun situations, namely being camped and tunneled. That is true. So they said, moving forward, survivors will receive a 5-second endurance status effect after being unhooked. This gives the survivor an opportunity to reach a nearby window, pallet, or vault after a survivor positions themselves for a protection hit. Very nice. Additionally, the unhooked survivor will receive a 7% haste effect. For 5 seconds. This will make them harder to catch and encourage killers to shift focus on the unhooking survivor. Both effects will be cancelled prematurely if the unhook performs what we now call a conspicuous action. These are actions, other than being chased, that would improve your chance of survival, repairing a gen, healing, cleansing a totem, sabotaging, unhooking, or opening an exit gate. With these base changes, we hope that survivors can switch it up with their perk loadouts without fear of being camped and tunneling, and will cut the next match short. Man, this is a lot of information, by the way. Holy crap, I thought I was just gonna record like a 2-minute video. Let's carry on. They're talking about the meta perks and how they're going to be changing all of these meta perks. They didn't show us stats that we've seen before on the channel and mentioned around about you know, perks that are being used the most, etc. Let's see what these perks are going to be changed at. I'm excited for this. Barbecue and chili. We know how barbecue chili works. Upon unhooking a survivor, see the auras of distant survivors, gain a stack. So how is this going to be changed? He said, we do not want blood points to be the driven factor behind perk choices, so we will be removing the blood point bonus. No, I love the blood points. While we understand this change may seem shocking, please keep in mind that this update will reduce the grind by 75%, with matchmaking incentives providing an additional avenue for blood points. We believe that this is a necessary step in making other aura reading perks more appealing, as blood point gain is no longer the deciding factor. I'm sad about that. I like my blood points for barbecue, but if you remember in yesterday's video, we said that they need to take the perks and split them into 2. We gave the example with other perks, with Dead Hard, for example, getting the distance or getting immunity, and keeping, you know, getting immunity over getting the distance. Barbecue, we made an example, getting the blood points gain versus seeing the auras, and now obviously no blood point gain, which is sad. I'm very sad about it, but you know what? We move. Let's see what else they have in Hex Ruin. Here we go. To bring Hex Ruin in line with other perks, we are reducing the aggression speed to 50, 75, and 100 from 100, 150, and 200. This will remove its power without destroying its primary appeal. After a survivor's kill, Hex Ruin will automatically deactivate. Interesting. So this is going to be a still a regression perk, but not as taxing, and obviously adding 10 seconds to the generator will, you know, have an effect. So reducing this makes sense. So basically, Hex Ruin at its strongest will now be Hex Ruin at its weakest, but it will also, after a survivor kill, it will automatically deactivate. So quite interesting what they're doing with that. And I don't really use Hex Ruin too much, so I'm not personally affected, but I know tons of players use it, so we'll have to see what type of change that brings. Pop Goes a Weasel. Here's one that I use all the time. So let's see what it says. Pop Goes a Weasel gives killers a controlled way to remove significant progress on a generator. That's true. Giving the kicking a generator now removes 2.5% of the progress. We decided to tone down some of it. The perk will now remove 20% of the generator's total. This change will make Pop Goes a Weasel very effective against generators that are nearly done, but weaker against those with small amounts of progress, and that is fair. That is completely fair. Before, it was just 25% no matter what of its total progress. Now you're getting 22.5. It's a very small difference. Pop Goes a Weasel is completely fine. So I'm happy about that. Woo. Corrupt Intervention is next. Let's see what they're going to be doing with Corrupt. Moving forward, the perk will deactivate once the survivors enter the dying state. We believe this change will help Corrupt Intervention effective in helping the killer build an early game pressure while providing a limit of its power. So now, instead of the generators being blocked for 2 minutes, at the beginning of the match, it'll be more manageable. This is going to be pretty interesting. So I believe that this is still going to have the 2-minute timer, but it doesn't really specify, because in the previous it says further generators are blocked for a while, and in the new one, it just says it will stop when the survivor is down. It's quite interesting, that one. So we got to see. I mean, if it's still the 2 minutes and then when you down somebody, it just stops early, fantastic. I like that change because it you know, it helps because you can't get that snowballing effect at the beginning of the game where survivors are like, crap, we can't do anything. But at the same time, if it's not the 2 minutes, I can definitely see someone like Legion or someone that can just, you know, hit people really quickly in rapid succession, really capitalizing on the new Corrupt. We got to see. Tinkerer is next on the list. Let's take a look at what they have in store for us. They said that Tinkerer has become a popular choice. So how are they going to change this? This can, however, be a little oppressive when paired with certain regression perks. Therefore, Tinkerer can now only activate once per generator, but with the base changes increased to 90, killers have an extra time to approach. So that's quite nice. So it will still be at 70% of the progress, but you have a little bit more time with generator times being at 90, and the same generator won't be triggered twice. You won't hear it if you like kick it with pop or something and then it triggers again, which is good. I think that's fair. I think that's balanced. Let's carry on to NOED. Here's a big one. I don't use NOED, but I know tons of people do, so let's see what they're doing to NOED. All right. This perk makes a very effective comeback tool, though it falls out of favor of high-skill games. We like the way NOED encourages survivors to preemptively cleanse totems, so we're not looking to weaken the distinct strength. Instead, survivors will now see the Hex Totem aura when it is within 4 meters upon activation. This range is increased to 24 meters over the course of 30 seconds. We believe this change will help NOED be strong choice for endgame builds while encouraging survivors to find the totem and attempt the last-second save. So, again, I'm not too mad at this one. This one's not bad. So if you're within a 4-meter range of the totem, once it's activated, you will know it's right there immediately. Kind of like how we've seen the new invitation work. If you're in 4 meters, you will see that purple aura and you know that it's there. Over the next 30 seconds, the range will increase to 24 meters. So it will constantly go, and then like while the killer's capitalizing, knocking people down, etc., a survivor can be like, oh, I see the totem 24 meters across. Let me run, go and get it. Now, obviously, as a killer, you know where your totem is at too, so you can protect that totem. So I think it's pretty good. And again, as I mentioned, it's not really in high skill gameplay. I don't use NOED personally, and this way it's going to be more fair for newer survivors and newer killers. Scorch Pain Resonance. This one's gonna be a shot in the heart because I love this perk. Let's see what they're going to do. They said that a sizable chunk of most progress generators for simply hooking a survivor allowed noise notification allows you. Then they said a jack of all trades of some sort, granting a powerful aggression and critical information. With that in mind, we're moving to loud noise notification. Instead of exploding, the affected generator will now spark upon losing progress and survivors will no longer scream. We believe this is to ensure pain resonance remains strong regression while limiting its information. And that's fine. Again, yesterday we mentioned taking the perks, splitting 2 parts of them into 1, and then we said giving another perk that aspect, but obviously they're just getting rid of it completely. So now the 2 regression perks can't work together. So when I like hooking someone, I know what generator is used on the most, and if I hear someone scream, I just hit it with pop. Now you're going to have to kind of guess what generator had the most progress. If you're good at playing killer, you might be able to glue the pieces together and know exactly what generator has just been, you know, progressed, whatever it. You'll be able to run to it. So this is still quite nice because it still keeps the values, and that's what I like most about the perk, the 15%. And now if you're running something like barbecue, for example, you can now still use this perk and figure out where the survivors are at. If you're still using something like Tinkerer, you still can know. So not too bad. Those are the ones that we got today. Here are the survivor perks. Survivor mains, it's your turn. We got Dead Hard in the building. Let's see what they're doing to Dead Hard. They said, this will remove Dead Harding for distance and make it solely used to dodge hits, which killers can anticipate and even bait accordingly. Therefore, Dead Hard will now provide the endurance effect for 1 second. When activated, if you time it right, you'll prevent the hits and gain movement speed boost. Wow. That is tremendous. So we mentioned that Dead Harding for distance is the one thing that makes Dead Hard unfair, and just, you know, press E and you extend the chase for minutes. Beautiful. You can no longer Dead Hard for distance, and this is exactly what we mentioned. You'll press it, you'll get the endurance status effect, the borrowed time one, and if you take the hit within that time frame, I think 1 second might be a little bit too short, but if you press it in 1 second, maybe 1.5 would be better, and the killer hits you, you will get that speed boost and you will run because you took a hit. The killer will have to clean their weapon, do the whole shebang, and then you're ready to go again. So now killers can actually bait it out, and the same way you may have pressed E, you know, to Dead Hard for the distance and get it perfectly timed when a killer swings, you're now going to have to press E to get the endurance status effect, so you can't necessarily rely it to go to a vault, go to a pallet. Instead, now you just have to wait for the killer to hit you, and you want the killer to hit you so you can get that added distance. Huge change to Decisive Strike. Let's take a look at, or huge change to Dead Hard, I should say. Decisive Strike is next on the list. So let's see what it says. For the most part, we find the perk to be healthy for the game and especially avoidable for killers who choose not to tunnel and unhook Survivor. That said, at the end of the match, there's often nothing the killer can do to prevent a Survivor with Decisive Strike from escaping. That is true. Moving forward, Decisive Strike will now deactivate once the exit gates are powered. In addition, the stun duration has been reduced from 5 seconds to 3 seconds. We've also edited, simplifying the description. Decisive Strike is now canceled by conspicuous actions. Very interesting, very interesting. So, endgame Decisive Strike doesn't work at all. That is completely fine. 5 seconds to 3 seconds, I don't mind that whatsoever. I think that is pretty fair. Borrowed time is next on the list. Man, we have been talking for a while now. There's still so much. I'm so happy about it. It says borrowed time will now extend the duration of the endurance status effect by 6, 8, and 10, and increase the movement speed bonus by 10 seconds of any survivor you unhook. These effects will be cancelled if the unhooked survivor performs conspicuous actions. While the overall duration of borrowed time is longer than before, we expect that having a lighter version in the base kit will cause its usages to drop. Borrowed time effects have now been added to the Survivor's base kit, which is pretty damn crazy. So base kit is now going to have borrowed time, as they mentioned before, and borrowed time will just enhance this and make it better. Again, this is something that we spoke about, and I expected this to happen, so I'm not mad whatsoever, and I think it's a healthy and nice change. Iron Will. I didn't necessarily think Iron Will needed a change, but here we are. This perk allows skilled players to mind game more effectively in the areas by silencing grunts of pain. To address its high usage rates, or lowering the grunts of pain to 25, 50, and 75. Additionally, Iron Will no longer activate when exhausted, though it will not cause exhaustion itself. So Iron Will is pretty much gone. Iron Will is dead. No one's going to be using Iron Will anymore. There's no point in using Iron Will because 75%, while nice, you still can hear the 25%. You can't hide around corners unless you go into a locker, and then in that case, yes, you can. But besides that, no point in using Iron Will. I'm going to be removing out of my build. I'm sure you can come up with unique builds for it, but RIP Iron Will. Which is sad. I am sad about it. Self-care. They said to reduce its strength, self-care heal speed will be lowered to 25, 30, and 35. This used to heal yourself without a medkit at 50. They then say the item bonus has been removed entirely. So self-care nerfed as well. We won't be seeing a lot of self-care gamers anymore. And self-care was kind of meh. I didn't really see it anyways. Maybe at the lower ranks or the lower grades, I should say, you may have seen a little bit more. In the higher ones, you just see boon totems, so rest in peace self-care as well. Spine Chill, oh boy. What are they going to do to Spine Chill? It says Spine Chill will now only activate if the killer has a clear line of sight of Survivor. This will remove the awkward counterplay where the killer must look away to ensure a stealthy approach. Next, we'll be adding a short 0.5 lingering effect of Spine Chill. This will prevent the perk icon from flickering when the killer looks around to make an action speed bonus and make it more consistent. Finally, we'll be removing the vault speed bonus entirely as it does not suit the perk's nature. So there you go. Spine Chill, the ultimate vault speeding build, vaulting build is completely gone. Spine Chill is nowhere near as good as it will be because you need a clear line of sight. So if I'm looking through a wall it doesn't mean anything. If I'm looking at you with barbecue and chili and I'm heading your way, as long as I'm not looking at you, it means nothing. Spine chill is probably not going to be used. So, wow, some pretty hefty changes. Let's take a look at the non-meta perks. I'm going to try to speed through these because the video has been going on for ages. Thank you guys for watching, by the way. Let's go ahead. Overcharge. Along with the current effect, Overcharge will cause a kick generator progression speed to grow from 100 to 400 over the course of 30 seconds. Survivor will want to stop this generator from regressing as soon as possible. So Overcharge being buffed, not too bad. Eruption. We're comfortably with increasing them. We have upped the generator regression penalty to 10% and the duration of the incapacitated effect to 25 seconds. So a buff for Eruption. Knockout. In addition to its current effect, Knockout will cause dying survivors to crawl 50% slower for 15 seconds and reduce the recovery speed by 25. So a really hard hit with Knockout. Buffed it up. Chlorophobia. To make healing in the killer's terror radius even more unappealing, Chlorophobia will now increase the speed of skill checks by 50% on top of its effect, so faster skill checks. Another buff. Dark Devotion. Dark Devotion will now active whenever the obsession loses a health state, so that is pretty good. It's no longer a basic attack. Whenever you lose a health state, Dark Devotion is activate. A nice little buff. Jolt. To make it more consistent and punish careful survivor players, they have removed the cooldown, so this is quite nice. Another buff to that. Lethal Pursuer. So you like aura reading, huh? On top of the existing effect, Lethal Pursuer will now extend the duration of all aura reading effects by 2 seconds. A nice little buff. So now barbecue and chili or anything that grants you aura reading effects, it increases it by 2. So it's not just the perk that you lose for the first 10 seconds of the game. It now lasts throughout. Very nice. Scorch, Gift of Pain. This perk also shipped with safe numbers, so we'll be increasing the action speed penalty by 10, 13, and 16, which I think can be very good on certain builds. Penantophobia, another quick one, we're increasing the action speed penalty to 4.55 and 5.5 per survivor with a maximum of 18, 20, and 22. A buff to Than. If you're playing against a Legion, rest in peace you. It's not going to be fun. So hold on. Scorch Hook Monstrous Shrine. What's going on here? Long have we waited. Monster Shrine has received a rework. This perk will now convert all basement hooks to Scourge hooks. Yes! Additionally, Scourge hooks will now grant a 10, 15, 20% faster entity progression, but only if the killer is not within 24 meters. So wow, basement builds has got super strong if you run Monster Shrine and you combine that with any other Scourge hooks. This combined with another perk will be absolutely amazing. Let's take a look at the survivor perk buffs. Calm Spirit. It now says you can open chests and cleanse and bless totem silently. 40, 35, 30% reduced speed. So a little bit of a payoff. I don't think it's worth it, but it's okay. Saboteur. Let's see what they're doing for that. Their auras are now shown in yellow with a survivor is being carried. Use this information to your advantage to prevent sabotage hook perks from being activated. Scorch hooks perk. So now if a killer is running to Scorch hook, you will see the hook auras. You can go and sabotage it, so not too bad. Botany Knowledge has been increasing the healing speed speed from 30, 40 to 50. And this used to be 11, 22, 33. So Botany is going to be pretty good. Might even replace self-care with using medkits, etc. Off the record, upon being unhooked in an endurance effect for 60, 70, and 80 seconds, the endurance effect will last upon a conspicuous action. While this is lengthy endurance effect, any game progression action will cancel it prematurely, making it purely for evading the killer after being unhooked. Very nice. Lucky Break. I am curious about this one. It says we're giving survivors a way to recharge Lucky Break. Each second sprint healing another survivor increases Lucky Break's duration by 1 second. Wow, that is pretty good. It says the total time cannot exceed the starting duration. Very nice. Pharmacy. Now Pharmacy will activate whenever you're injured, guaranteeing an emergency medkit when you search a chest. This effect will happen multiple times in one trial. Ooh, good luck stealing my medkit now, Meg. Who wrote this? So that's pretty good. Pharmacy's getting a buff. You can get tons of medkits. Soul Survivor. In addition to hiding your aura, Soul Survivor will now increase the generator repair speed by 75% and your exit gate and hatch action speed by 50%. These effects only activate when you're the last survivor. So 75% is nutty, but now it doesn't make it so that you have to go to the hatch. You can work on a generator at 75% boosted speed, which is insane. Peepsy calling you out. I want to see how fast those generators can go with the new Soul Survivor. Distortion. For those who like to stay hidden, we've given away to regain your tokens, gain 1 token for every 30 seconds spent within the killer's aura or terror radius. That is beautiful. Lightweight. In addition to its already effects, your scratch marks will now fade 5, 4, 3 seconds sooner, up from 3, 2, 1. Lightweight might be making a return. Lightweight might be making a return. Deja Vu. To help survivors power the 3 closest generators, Deja Vu will now grant a 5% repair bonus to the revealed generators. Not too bad. 5% is pretty nice. Combining that with Soul Survivor, Peepsy, where are you? No One Left Behind. Beyond its current effects, No One Left Behind will grant a 7% movement bonus to any survivors you unhook. Additionally, the perk now activates when the gates are powered rather than open. Beautiful. Dark Sense. We've changed the way Dark Sense works. When a generator is powered, Dark Sense activates. The next time the killer comes within 24 meters of you, their aura is revealed to 5, 7, and 10 seconds. Dark Sense then deactivates. Could be good with certain builds. Tenacity. Tenacity now reduces your grunts of pain by 75% in the dying state. Combined with its increased crawling speed, the perk will now have a much more effective in crawling away from the killer. Not too bad, so you can hide while you're on the ground. I like it. Hope. Ooh, this is interesting. Hope is great for those who like the late game saves, but are limited duration. It expire. Since the perk is only useful at the end game, we've removed the duration entirely. Hope is going to be a very good perk. You're going to see it quite a lot. Overzealous. In its current state, cleansing a totem grants you a repair speed of 6, 7, and 8. Now the bonus doubles it if you cleanse a hex totem. Beautiful. I like that. We're going to live forever. Interesting. Let's see. We like barbecue control. These perks feature a massive blood point bonus. We do not want blood points to dictate whether you use a perk. So they're going to remove it, are they? This change will release the same effect, Overhaul, with the accepted cut of the grind to about 75%, which Matchmaking Incentive providing additional avenue for blood points. So they are removing the blood point bonus from where you're going to live forever. So no more barbecue for points, no more we're living forever for points. It's a sad day, but wow, honestly, these are some pretty balanced changed. I am happy with it. I'm sad we didn't see anything about twins, but that is okay. They then leave a tiny little note. Till next time, the Dead by Daylight team. Ooh, this is awesome. I am pretty excited. Next week, the PTB is out. A lot of things are going to be changed. The game is going to feel different. We're going to see a lot of cool changes, and I'm excited. We've been talking for about 30 minutes now. I'm going to end out the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I'm the King. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Hopefully you enjoyed this. We're going to make more videos and more conversations about all these things when I fully digest and talk to the community about it. Again, live on Twitch. Make sure you guys come out. But as always, I'm the King. That's my crown to you guys. And we'll see you in the vlog.